Good morning, scrapbookers. How are you today? It's Claire Daly here in Melbourne, Australia, and it's fabulous to be with you today. So I'm a Stampin' Up demonstrator. I have been for nearly 19 years and I live in Melbourne, Australia, and I love scrapbooking as well as card making. In fact, I started my papercraft journey as a scrapbooker, and I'll tell you a little bit more about all of that in a moment. Now, you may have come to this video via my scrapbooking newsletter that I have recently started. Stampin' Up have reintroduced a lot of scrapbooking materials, so my scrapbooking activities within Stampin' Up are increasing exponentially, so I wanted to start doing a dedicated scrapbooking newsletter. So you may have come to me through that, or otherwise you may have found me on YouTube, which is fantastic. If that's the case, I'd really love it if you could join my scrapbooking newsletter, because then I can inspire you a little bit more. And there will usually be videos as part of the scrapbooking newsletter, but they sort of complement each other, and there'll be a lot more information in the newsletter, which actually fills out the information that's on the pages and complements what's in the video. So yeah, I recommend that you subscribe to that. And if you did find me on YouTube, or you're watching this on YouTube, please subscribe to my channel, press that little bell so that any of the videos that I put together, you'll actually be notified about. Now, let me tell you a little bit about my scrapbooking and Stampin' Up journey. So I joined Stampin' Up it'll be 19 years next January, and I just knew at that stage that it was for me. But prior to that, I was actually very heavily into scrapbooking. So my youngest son is now 23, and I remember the moment vividly. I was at a mother's group. I think he was probably about 5 or 6 weeks old, and I was at a mother's group, and one of the mothers brought along a scrapbook that somebody had started doing for her. And I was like, oh my goodness, this is me. And I literally went straight from the mother's group with my son, never mind, those sleep routines or anything. I literally went straight from the mother's group meeting to a local scrapbook store. So if you're in Melbourne, it was the one that was in Bedford Street in Ringwood. I literally went straight there and got some papers and things. And I really became addicted to scrapbooking, and I went to lots of classes in stores, lots of crops around Australia, lots of crops around Melbourne. And I also submitted pages to publications, and I had pages in creating keepsakes, scrapbooking memories, I think 3 or 4 different scrapbooking magazines at the time. So that was really exciting. I was home with 2 young children. I loved scrapbooking. It was really huge, and it was just a really great creative outlet for me. And I started one of the stores that I used to go to, Scraptacular actually, in Mentone, started introducing more and more stamps, and I started seeing the value of using stamps in scrapbooking. I liked the grungy look of the whole look. It sort of suited my scrapbooking style sometimes, but I also saw the value, in that, using a stamp is something you can use over and over again in scrapbooking. And I just really liked the idea. And that was around the time too that Ellie Edwards was around a lot. And so I really got on board with Ellie Edwards. I loved her philosophy about scrapbooking, about everyday things and family, and I just became addicted to stamping and scrapbooking. And then one day I was just browsing Creating Keepsakes magazine, and there was an ad for Stampin' Up in Australia. And so I was like, hey, I think that might be for me. And initially, I was working. I'm actually a dietitian in my other life, and I work with women that have got polycystic ovarian syndrome and trying to get pregnant or just trying to stay well. But I was at home, and it just fitted in really nicely to what I was doing. And yeah, so that's worked in really well. Excuse me, just let me get some water. So I joined up with Stampin' Up, and at that stage Stampin' Up had quite a bit of scrapbooking stuff, and then there's been various stages where they have and they haven't. I've still kept on scrapbooking, but it's sort of ebbed and flowed based on that. But then, as you know, last year, when Close to My Heart unfortunately closed, and a lot of the Close to My Heart makers came across to Stampin' Up, so much more scrapbooking materials become available, and I'm so excited about that because the coordination, and it's really reignited my love for scrapbooking, which has reignited my love for sharing with everybody. So that's what that's where we're at now. I'm excited to be able to have this newsletter. I've got some extra things planned for next year, and I'm really looking forward to expanding my scrapbooking outreach again. So let me tell you a little bit about what I'm going to talk about today. So I'm going to have a bit of a theme. The things I like to scrapbook most are about family, pets, and travel. Travel is a big one. I tend to have lots of travel photos. I've had incentive trips with Stampin' Up, and I have to say that, disclaimer, only 1% of demonstrators can earn this incentive trips. We have to include that disclaimer, and it is hard work. But a lot of the trips that I've earned through Stampin' Up, I have been lucky enough to go to some fantastic places and scrapbooking about those, which is what the pages are about today. Today I'm going to share with you a 4 pages in relation to some travel to Alaska. So I hope you really enjoy those pages. I'll show you the products, show you some ways that I've used them. And please, as I said, if you love this newsletter or video and you found it helpful, please tell your friends, scrapbooking friends, about it. Please subscribe and press that little bell so that we can stay in touch, because I'd really love that. So let's get into things. Okay, let's have a look at the products. So we are going to be using some products from the annual catalogue, and on page 72 and 73 of the Australian version of the catalogue, you will find the Weekend Adventures. I love this suite. It's a pattern paper pack, so you get 12 sheets of pattern paper. So there's 4 double-sided sheets in each of these patterns. And then you also get a sticker sheet. So that's the sticker sheet and the pattern paper come together. And then optionally you can choose a 2-tone cardstock pack, which matches the cardstock, matches the designer series paper, or the Weekend Adventures stamp set also matches. So you can see how those things all go together. But I've also brought in some other products. Isn't that page fabulous? I really love that. It's just such a happy page. Yeah, I really love that. Love scrapbooking, love the idea that we're creating and we're recording those memories. I think that's really important. Okay, so let's just have a little quick. So here's the stamp set. I liked some of the phrases on here, and that cup I think will come in handy. So this was a no-brainer for me to get this to go along with these pages. Things to do, places to see, taking the scenic route, adventure starts here. They're phrases that I know that I will use in my scrapbooking. That's a photopolymer stamp set, and that's $35 in Australia. And then here's the actual, I keep these in these page things. So this is, obviously I've used lots of these. So here's the sticker sheet. Now the sticker sheets are great in that they're really a really great weight. I call them cardstock weight, which means that they're not shiny, they're matte. And they look really great on pages, and I love the coordination, the color coordination with the papers is fantastic. You don't need to worry about, oh, I wonder if that really does match. Yes, it really does match. It's really great color coordination. So just showing you some of the papers. So there's this one here. You get 4 sheets of this one, which is this little full 12 by 12. There's that one there with the cups and the footprints, and then Misty Moonlight on the back. And then you get 12 sheets of this one, that gorgeous check, and then this early espresso stripe. And then you get, I might have to show you some bits of the other ones because I've used so many. The one with the little trees on, and then the acorns on the back, and then the final one. Let me see if I've got any bits of the final one left. Maybe 1, 2. Let me just have a look on the book. Oh yeah, sorry, it's only the 3 papers, and there's 4 of each, not 3 of 4. So they're the 3 different papers that you get. So they're great colours that also coordinate beautifully with nature. Perfect for camping photos, outdoor photos, and I chose to use them on a trip to Alaska when we went on the White Pass train, and there was beautiful trees and rivers and things like that. So as I mentioned, you could also choose to get a pack of two-tone cardstock that goes with that, or you might just use cardstock that you already have. Early espresso, crumb cake, those colours work in really well, but so does this one is the pecan pie. Old olive works really well. Cajun craze works really well. Basic beige works really well with these pages as well. So lots of different colours there that you can add in with the pages, and lots of different coordination opportunities. So let me show you, first of all, I'll go through each page one by one, and we'll just look at some elements and things that I've done. So the first page I've done as my starting page, which is where I wanted to just have a page about this is what we did, and then the next page are the ones which are more heavy on the on the scenery. So this was, as I mentioned, the White Pass Yukon Railroad. If you ever go to Skagway in Alaska, it's a fantastic railroad to get in. You see some amazing things. So pretty much I've used the pattern paper, I've matted the photos. So this is 3 6 by 4 inch photos. You'll find in my scrapbooking, I really like to use 6 by 4 photos. I generally don't like to go and get fancy sizes. I don't always get fancy sizes done. Sometimes, quite often, I should say, I do 3 by 4 inch photos, and I'll get them printed to a print. But oftentimes I use 6 by 4 photos because, I like get a bunch of photos from my trip planned, and I've got them there, printed, I've got them there, and I can start working. Other things you'll notice about my scrapbooking is I like things to join together, sort of clustered, that clustered approach, and which is what I've done here. So this is pretty much papers and embellishments. These little embellishments here, they are the embellishments that go with the beautiful gallery. They're part of the beautiful gallery suite in this. Let me see if I can find that. Here we are. These are these gorgeous embellishments, pressed flower embellishments. They're really great. They've got that real brassy look. So anything I use on today's pages, I will actually link down below so that you can see where I got them from. So I have matted this one. I've got an early espresso base. I've a smaller piece of designer series paper from the Weekend Adventures pack, and I've left a bit of a border around the edge to sort of frame the photos, and then I have matted each of the photos. By matting them in a lighter color, it sort of makes them pop a little bit more. If I just popped them straight onto the page, they would have been a bit lost in the darkness there. And then I have stamped onto a piece of two-tone crumb cake in early espresso. The adventure starts here from the stamp set, and then I've just done used a couple of the stickers, some of the embellishments, and I've used some strip journaling. Now, because I wanted this to coordinate in color-wise, I have done my strip journaling on basic beige cardstock so that that sort of fitted in with that. So this is my front page. Says what we're doing. Ship excursion for all four of us, Skagway, Alaska to Cardross in the Yukon, and it was the White Pass train. So yeah, so that's the first page. And then these two go together, sort of, let's get this out of the way. This is where I really wanted to show, now I just want to check that they are all in screen. No, not quite. Let me go out a little bit more. Whoops. Yep, there we go. So these, this is a double page spread, and this is where I wanted to get lots of the travel photos in. So I love these scenery photos. I really wanted to capture the view. I wanted to capture these beautiful trees. I wanted to capture, you know, the mountains and the rivers and everything. So I wanted to keep the actual page pretty simple, pages simple, and really make the photos do the talking. So as you can see, I've gone with the early espresso again, but I've used the old olive paper to be the anchor for my photos. So on this page, I've managed to get 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, but I've also used some flip flaps. So 8, 9, and then on this one, 10, 11. So I've managed to get 11 photos, 11 6x4 inch photos in a 2-page spread. How amazing is that? So that's a really good way to get lots of travel photos in by using the flip flaps. And if you're familiar with the not familiar with the flip flaps, I got to pack it out. Here we go. So we sell these. These are the 6x4 ones, and you they come in either this way or a side one. And what they do is they allow you to, so you peel off the here, which will make it adhesive. Oops, might be this side. Yep, there. So it will make it adhesive, and then you are sticking that down like so for your photo, so that when you lift that one up, you can fit another photo there, and you've got another photo there as well. So you're actually adding an extra 2 photos by doing that. Just make sure you've actually got the page up, which is where you put the photo. So with these come in various sizes, in 3x4, 4x4, and 6x4. So definitely have some of these on hand when you're doing your scrapbooking, because you definitely need those. The other thing I've used here is I've used the alphabet. So you'll find that, I mean, how easy is it to just cut your own titles as opposed to, you know, buying titles that you have to use all the time. So let's find those alphabets. Can I? Oh my goodness. Dies. So we've got the alphabets a la mode, but it's not that one there. It is the, let me get it. It'll be easier to show you. The mini alphabet, and you get the whole sheet. You actually do the whole sheet in one. And what I do is I do a few at a time, and I keep them in little cello bags so that I can use those next time. They're a really good size to put on scrapbook pages. And yeah, so that's how I've done my titles. You'll see some other bits and pieces from the sticker sheet. You can see the great colour coordination there, can't you, from the sticker sheet? I mean, look at, you know, these, it just really, it's fantastic colour coordination. That's what I love about this. And then the other thing that I've introduced here, which works perfectly, is the Scenic Adventure dies. Now, when I saw those, I thought, oh my goodness. I mean, I love them for masculine cards. I love these little tree ones for Christmas as well. So if you've got, say, a little house or something else, they're really great Christmas trees as well. But I just love the mountains and the rolling hills and things to use as scenery as well. And so it worked perfectly on these scrapbook pages too, because I could just do different hills, and then I could do you know, the grass and the trees, and then pop those other trees up there. So I think yeah, the Scenic Adventures on these sorts of travel photos, the dies works perfectly. So what I've done is I've done a small amount of that reverse side of this one here, so that we're just, again, we're wanting to pop out the bit that's got the photos, so that that becomes the highlight. And then the other thing that I've done again is the I've carried through the strip journaling, and I just do that on my computer. I just double space it, and then just chop it up with my paper trimmer, and the Stampin' Up paper trimmer makes that really easily with all the lines and things on it. And yet those embellishments, and so just little bits like exciting day, what a view, life is better outdoors, those sorts of things that came in the sticker sheet makes just really add quick embellishments to your scrapbook pages. So there's those ones. And then the final one I did was just actually in the this doesn't really relate to these scenery ones, but it was part of the Alaska trip, is in the hospitality room. This trip was in 2018, by the way. In the hospitality room, this is the one that's now 23, and this one's 21 next year. So they had really great a mountain backdrop and things like, you know, the mountains are calling and I must go. So it was really fantastic. And I just loved those family photos. And so I wanted to scrapbook those. And this really felt like really great paper to do that. So they're the 4 pages I've put together with the Weekend Adventures. And as I said, some additional product. And I will put down below all of the details of the product that I've used. If you're in Australia, you can buy Stampin' Up product from me anywhere in Australia, and it gets sent to your door. Postage is $6.95 or 6%, whichever's largest. So up until about $120, bit over $120, it's $6.95, and then beyond that, it's a little bit more. But the cool thing is, when you purchase products from me in Australia, any orders over $35, you actually earn 10% of your order back to use on the next order. So say if you put in a $50 order, you will put that in, pay your $6.95 postage and handling, and then you will, if you opt into it, which you get the opportunity to when you sign in, and I would recommend that you do, you then get $5 put into your what we call rewards account, Stampin' Rewards account. Then next time you go to place an order, you can put that $5 towards your next order of any amount. It doesn't have to be a special amount to be able to use that. So, and anyone that shops from me in Australia also becomes my VIP. So you go onto my VIP customer group, you get your free catalogs mailed out, and you also get my weekly newsletter where I include other things. It's separate to this one. My weekly Stampin' Up newsletter goes to VIPs, and there's a tutorial, technique information, a whole range of stuff gets sent out to my VIPs. But if you are shopping with someone else, still subscribe, because you can get, I still send out tutorials once or twice a month. So when you're subscribing to the Scrapbook newsletter, what you're actually doing is subscribing to my main newsletter, and there's a question as you sign up for the scrapbooking that says, are you interested in receiving scrapbooking content? By ticking clicking yes to that question, it'll be tagged a certain way in my email marketing program, and that means you will be receiving just the scrapbooking. You will be receiving the scrapbooking newsletters as well, which are separate to the rest of my content. Hope that makes sense. If it doesn't, reach out and I can help you with any questions. So thanks for watching today. It was fabulous to be able to put these pages together. There'll be some photos of them in the newsletter as well, closer photos for you to look at. And I'm looking forward to bringing you some more scrapbooking soon. Get onto my, subscribe to my newsletter though, or get onto my blog and also my Facebook business page, because in between these monthly scrapbooking newsletters, I'll actually be also sharing other scrapbooking pages on my Facebook business page and on my blog. So thanks very much. You have a great day and we'll talk again soon.